Greetings, everyone. I'm Ivy Hartman, and I am pleased to be sitting down with author and inspirational speaker Miriam Laundry. Miriam is the author of several books, including I Can Make a Difference and I Can Be Me. She has partnered with Jack Canfield, best known for his Chicken Soup for the Soul series, for her latest book, I Can Believe in Myself. Welcome, Miriam.
Hi, Ivy. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit more about the book and where the idea for the book came from.
Sure. So, I Can Believe in Myself is actually the very first book I ever wrote, and it has just been republished with HCI Books. So, I Can Believe in Myself came about in 2012. I had just attended a week-long seminar taught by Jack Canfield, my co-author now. And he had, it was a week full of inspiration, self-development. I learned so many things, but it was on the flight home that something stayed with me. I kept thinking about his idea of the word can't and how that word can't limits us. So I knew that I wanted to get home and teach my children a little bit of what I had just learned. And that's when I wrote the first draft to I Can Believe in Myself.
Okay, well, it's been especially hard during the pandemic, Miriam, with online learning and being a mom yourself and then writing this book and an inspirational speaker. What are you doing and what do you suggest? What are you doing at home? What do you suggest to help keep that can instead of can't mentality going during the pandemic?
Yes. So my children, I have four children, are now all back in school. The ones in high school go half time, but for a long time they were at home and they've only just recently returned. And you're exactly right, Ivy. Children have been hearing the word can't so much this past year, right? You can't go to school for some time. You can't see your grandparents. You can't see your friends. You can't do your regular after school activities like sports or music. So it's really important to point out the things that they can do because there's still so much that we're able to do. Zoom is our best friend for adults and for kids. So calling grandma or calling your friends over Zoom. Now, as the weather gets nicer, I'm in Canada, even going for a walk with another child, with a friend is a great idea. But always looking at the positive and helping them really think about the things that they can do, maybe sitting down and making a list of all the things that they're actually able to go ahead and do.
I love that glass half full kind of mentality thing. And what I really found interesting were the suggestions you offered at the back of the book for both educators as well as parents that they could do to help foster that culture of can, but more importantly, illustrating how can't can physically bring you down. Talk about that.
Yes, the word can't is a limiting word. Whenever we say I can't, that word stops us. It stops us from even trying. But if we can switch it to just saying I can, for a child, it could be I can ride my bike without training wheels, or I can do a cartwheel, then that word gives us hope. It gives us possibility. So I share with kids that there's three simple steps to success. The first one is to believe that you can do it, to actually say I can. Second step is to find somebody that already knows how to do what you want to do, ask them for help. This could be somebody that already knows how to do a cartwheel. Ask them to give you some tips. And then the third step is to practice and practice until you can get it done. You may not be able to, land that cartwheel the first time you try, but after a week of practicing and practicing, or maybe 2 weeks, you'll be able to get it done, to do it.
A great reminder, not just for kids, but for us. I found myself reading it, and even the tie-in with the teacher, shifting her can-do mindset even.
Yes, it's true. We say I can't as adults also. And I mean, in our household, I've said that can't word is a 4-letter bad word. And my children now catch me saying it. And I've had to reprogram the way I say things. Like we're so used to saying, I can't wait to see you. And they
Yeah.
caught me saying that. So now I have to say, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah. I love the illustrations too. The way I know that wasn't, that you had an illustrator, but it incorporated all different ethnicities in a very diverse classroom. But the thing I really liked is that it also depicted it like a comic book, right? Rather
Yes.
than like straight literature.
Yes. So the first version of I Can Believe in Myself that I self-published, this is back in 2013, were regular illustrations. Now that the publishers picked this up, HCI Books, and now that we did it with Jack, we wanted it to be completely different. And that was an idea by Eva Morales, our illustrator, to have it comic style. And children really have taken to that. It also incorporates a little bit of the older children that want to read the book and just kind of go through the comics. It's a book, even though we say it's for from 4 to 8 year olds, it can be for older kids. And like you said, there's a little message in there for the adults reading to their children also.
So, Miriam, this isn't the first book that you collaborated with Jack Canfield on. Can you tell us more about how that collaboration began?
Yes. So I said at a self-esteem or self-development seminar with Jack Canfield for many, many years. I used to go to all his classes. I call myself a self-development junkie. I love to learn. So I approached him when I wrote The Big Bad Bully. And I'll just tell you, The Big Bad Bully is our first book together. I was inspired to write that when my daughter, she was in the 6th grade at the time, was standing in front of a full-length mirror in my bedroom saying things like, "Mommy, why is my hair so frizzy? Why am I so short? Why do I have so many pimples?" And nothing I would say to her would make her stop until finally I went up to her and I said, "Stop it, honey. You are bullying yourself." And she just went quiet. She took a moment to really think about that. And I think just thinking about the mental self-talk as a form of bullying made her relook at the whole situation. So we talked about that for a bit. After I wrote that story that night, I approached Jack. I sent him an email and I said, all this stuff these are principles I've learned from you. I would really like to co-author this with you. And he said yes. So that was our first book. And now we have I Can Believe in Myself that we've done together.
It seems like they go hand in hand really well. And I work in education also, and as well as at the STL TV. And I always find myself talking to my students saying, don't talk about my friend that way when they're putting themselves down. I never thought about it from that bullying mentality.
Yes, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly it. We would never talk to a friend the way we talk to ourselves in our
Ourselves.
minds. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are
Okay.
you?
Well, so
Yeah.
how do you keep your can-do mindset, Miriam?
So for me, I love to learn. So, like I said, I love to go to seminars where I learn about positivity. I love to read about positivity. I listen to a lot of podcasts, just growing. And whenever I start having those self-doubt thoughts, having that bully mentality, I have to stop and start talking to myself in a kind way. I do something called the mirror exercise. It's one of the exercises in the Big Bad Bully where you say a couple of things to yourself every night. You tell yourself all the great things about you, things that you've done that day, maybe temptations you resisted, or how you continued working towards your business, or whatever it is that you're working towards. And that really helps silence that negative self-talk, that negative chatter.
Yeah, I think that that's really outside our comfort zone to do that, though, to
Oh, it
actually sit
is.
there and have a conversation with yourself with all the external noise, but then to be complimentary without,
Yes.
mhm.
It absolutely is outside of our comfort zone at the beginning, but the more you do it, we do a little challenge to do it for 40 nights. The more you do it, it just becomes second nature. It becomes a habit. And that's really what we want. We want to talk to ourselves with kindness, with love, right? We want to be our best friends, just like you said.
Well, you have been going around to schools and speaking to students, and you've written these books. What's next for you?
So for me, I have not been able to go into schools a lot this past year. I do some virtual presentations, but now I help aspiring authors teach them how to write, publish, and market their own children's books. So I continue to promote these messages because I just absolutely love helping children. But now I want to help other authors be able to put out great children's books out in the world.
I'm so glad you talk about helping others, because the some of the profits for this book are actually going on to help other kids in other countries, right?
That's right. All of my profits from I Can Believe in Myself are going towards building a school in Guatemala through Pencils of Promise. So I hope to do that and bring my children there and just do that as a family. But it's a contribution from everybody that's purchasing the book that's going to be going towards building that school.
That's so exciting to be a part of that. Not only do going to get this great book that you can share with kids and other, I actually am an aunt and a mom, And this is the gift they get from me, books.
Oh, well, thank you. You're
So
a great aunt.
Thank you. I think so. So you can pick this up at any online seller or bookstore, right, Miriam?
That's right. And it's also available, of course, on Amazon.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. I can believe in myself. That'll be the mantra for me the rest of the day. Miriam, thank you for being with us here on STL TV.
Thank you so much.